All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, after nearly 5 decades of the Buss family being the majority owners of the Los Angeles Lakers, that is about to change. Jeanie Buss is entering into an agreement to sell majority ownership in the Lakers to Mark Walter for $10 billion. Mind you, that her dad, the late Dr. Jerry Buss, purchased the Lakers for $67.5 million back in 1979 from Jack Kent Cooke. And Buss's purchase of the Lakers also included the Los Angeles Kings as well as the Great Western Forum. Now, the 10 billion that this majority stake in the Lakers just fetched dwarfs the 6.1 billion that the Boston Celtics were just sold for, as that at the time was more than any franchise in NBA history got via sales. So now we're talking about in less than a year, give or take, that the NBA's two most iconic franchises will be under new ownership. Walter is also part of the Los Angeles Dodgers ownership group as well. And we've seen the success that the Dodgers have had under new ownership. As you know, since that sale more than a decade ago, the Dodgers have gotten to the playoffs in each of the last 12 years. And they also have a pair of World Series championships on the docket, as well as four appearances in the Fall Classic. Now, one could make a very compelling case that the Lakers franchise is the crown jewel of professional sports, and under the right ownership, that could only be magnified. Now, Dr. Buss, he understood that, okay, as he helped to make the Forum the place to be in the 1980s. And of course, the Forum Club was the ultimate pre and post game show for the Lakers, as you consistently saw a who's who of Hollywood's elite there, as well as sitting courtside at the Forum. Under the ownership of Dr. Buss, the Lakers won 10 championships. And of course, they won one more in 2020 after his passing. And from the sounds of things, Mark Walter has the same kind of drive, which is going to be great for the Lakers, in my opinion, their fans, the city of Los Angeles, and the NBA as a whole. Because at the end of the day, like it or not, the league is a better place when teams such as the Lakers, Celtics, and New York Knicks are relevant and contending for NBA championships. Now, Jeanie Buss is still going to be around, okay? She's going to be the governor of the Lakers. She's also going to still have a 15% ownership stake in the franchise. But I feel like the time was right for her to walk away from the ownership docket, sort of, because again, she's still going to be around. She's still going to have a say in things, and as far as running the franchise, this, that, and the third. It's just going to be interesting to see how everything works out with decision making and so forth. Now, yes, the Lakers have made the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 years. Their last NBA championship came in 2020. But realistically, the Lakers, they're no longer really considered a championship contender at the moment, in my opinion. We're talking about a team. They got to the playoffs, like I said, 4 out of the last 5 years. They were sent home in the first round in each of the last 2 years. They did make the conference finals back in 2023, but it just seems like there's something missing from the Lakers right now. That's my opinion. Okay. One thing for me, I feel like the Lakers definitely need more stability. Too many changes at the head coaching position. For that matter, 6 different head coaches in the last 12 years. That's never going to get it done. So let's see how things change, or will they change, with Mark Walter as the head honcho, if you will, for the Lakers. Now, with the Lakers being sold, and of course the Boston Celtics being sold recently, you have to ever wonder if James Dolan, ever decided to sell the Knicks, what would his team that plays in the shadows of Broadway go for? I mean, I'll tell you like this: the Knicks, if we saw the Celtics go for 6.1, and I know the Celtics have more, of a championship pedigree than the Knicks organization and franchise over the years, but it's still New York and it's still the Knicks and it's still Madison Square Garden. I guarantee you it is going to be a pretty penny that James Dolan would get if he ever decided to sell his Knicks. Now, you ask yourself, is Mark Walter just what the doctor ordered for the Lakers? I think so, because if you look at the success that the Dodgers have had with his ownership group, if you look at the success that has come down with other ventures that he has, I think you should be optimistic about this. I think he's going to have a commitment to this organization and a commitment to making them better and a commitment to keeping them in that championship talk, if you will. So I just want to see how the power structure is going to work out, in my opinion. And for me personally, I know that the Lakers just made that trade this past season for Luka Doncic, and of course, their two biggest stars are Luka and LeBron. In my opinion, some might disagree with what I'm about to say. Some might agree. It's all good. I feel that maybe it's time for the Lakers to go in a different direction from LeBron. They might not do it, okay, but I think they need to get younger and try to build this team around Doncic, in my opinion. Okay. Like I said, you might agree with it, you might disagree with it. It's all good. It's just my 2 cents on it. So I really want to see what direction that the Lakers go in under the stewardship of Mark Walter. Let's see, how Jeanie Buss is going to deal with everything. Let's see what's next for one of professional sports, not just the NBA, but professional sports' most iconic franchises. It took $10 billion. And again, that's not even for the full ownership of it, because Jeanie Buss is still going to have 15% ownership stake in this franchise. That is just how valuable that people view the Los Angeles Lakers. Big money in sports, like I always say, and we're seeing it more and more because several teams across all of the big sports leagues have been up for sale recently, and we're still seeing more. Want to see what happens with the Tampa Bay Rays. In baseball, of course, clearly they're not the Lakers, but still, it's still going to fetch for a pretty penny. But nonetheless, let's see how the Lakers are going to look going forward with Mark Walter as their majority owner. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. And as always, if you like what you heard and saw on this podcast, you know what to do. Hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. Like I always say, it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line to be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. But until next time, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, and I'm saying thanks once again for checking out the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.